What's up, everybody? I'm the Yellow Ranger, and on this episode of What the Fuck, we'll be talking about this guy right here, Lonnie David Franklin Jr., born August 30th, 1952 in Los Angeles, California. He's known as the Grim Sleeper. He was a serial unaliver, a essayist, and he was responsible for at least 10 unalivings, but suspected of as many as 25 in South Central Los Angeles between the years of 1985 and 2007. He grew up again in South Los Angeles, where he lived most of his life. He worked for the City of Los Angeles Sanitation Department as a garbage collector. He was considered by many neighbors to be friendly, helpful, and quiet. He often fixed cars in his yard, attended local gatherings, but behind his facade, however, Franklin lived a double life. He was a devoted family man, and in another part of his life, he lived it as a sadistic predator who targeted vulnerable women in his community. His known victims were primarily black women, many of whom were ex-workers or drug users living in poor neighborhoods. His victims were essayed and then unalived with a small caliber pew-pew. The bodies were dumped in alleys, trash bins, or abandoned lots around Los Angeles. He even photographed many of his victims, some unalived and some alive. The unalivings abruptly stopped in 1988, leading authorities and journalists to dub him the nickname the Grim Sleeper, suggesting he had taken a long break or slept between the unalivings. However, later evidence showed that he may have continued unaliving people throughout the 1990s and 2000s. This case baffled investigators for decades. DNA evidence eventually connected murders from 1985 to 2007, a span of more than 20 years. In 2008, detectives used this thing called familiar DNA testing, and it was able to identify him. The DNA testing made like almost an identical match to Franklin's son, and then when they arrested his son, they noticed that they retrieved his DNA from a slice of pizza that he discarded, and it matched perfectly to the Grim Sleeper's DNA that was found on victims. He was arrested on July 7, 2010 at his Los Angeles home. When police searched his home, they found over 1,000 photos of women, many nude or unconscious, videos and clothing belonging to the victims, and firearms consistent with those used in the unalivings. But the crazy thing about this is they couldn't even identify some of the people in the photos. So some of these people still have never been identified. And in 2016, he was indicted on 10 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted unaliving. One of his victims survived and was able to identify him, but he was found unalived